Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. Here in Rhode Island, we take pride in taking care of our own. At Lathrop Insurance, we have spent 86 years helping families and businesses protect what matters most. Whether it's your home, your business, or the legacy you're building, our team is here to provide peace of mind through customized insurance solutions. We're proud to support high school sports across Rhode Island because when our community grows stronger, we all win. Lathrop Insurance. Personalized protection, local expertise. Visit lathropinsurance.com to see how we can protect what matters most to you.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome. This is part two. We didn't get to do a part two last year, but we kind of talked with one another and figured we'd do it again. This is Dan and Trey. To my left, your guys is right on the screen. You guys know us anyway. I'll be a short introduction here. This is Coach Jacob Aruda as well. My name is Dan LaBelle, and we don't have Lucas here tonight. We don't have Coach Santos. He's hard at work tonight.
Oh, wow.
He's going to coach with his Rhode Island Warriors.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, he said he had practice tonight.
Yeah, good luck to him.
So I know that season starts very, very soon as well. They start playing tournaments in April, I believe, the beginning of April. So good luck to Coach Santos and his 10th grade guys. He's coaching with Doug Haynes, too. I know we mentioned it last time, but very, very accomplished CCRI women's basketball coach. And they had a great run. They made it to Texas this year, just couldn't finish the deal. But great job on all those fronts. And wow, what a tournament we've had so far, fellas. I know you guys saw our sponsor before this episode. Dan, you want to speak on Lathrop Insurance?
Just want to give a quick shout out.
Of course.
We've now made it Dan cubed. We got Dan 1, Dan 2, Dan 3 at Lathrop Insurance. So if you have any insurance needs, be sure to call up Dan from Lathrop Insurance because Dan's are reliable.
Can't go wrong without a Dan. You know, you need Dans.
So I
mean, you do. He's a man. He's been sponsoring with 321 for a while.
As
well. So he definitely deserves a shout out.
Absolutely.
Go check out Lathrop Insurance today.
Absolutely.
And yeah, what has been the biggest surprise in your guys' eyes so far in this tournament? There's been a lot, but if you guys had to try to narrow it down.
Well, first off, I'd have to say Akron upset me because I switched on Akron at this table on the live stream.
I told you not.
Listen, but you guys made me bought into them, and honestly, who'd they play again? I forgot they played. It was the other team wasn't missing. I think it was.
Oh my gosh! Now
was it Nebraska?
I think it was Nebraska.
No, Troy played Nebraska.
Yeah, I forgot which. I'm looking right here, but they played a really good game against them, and they were exciting to watch. But one team I really love to watch, and I wish they didn't bump into a great Arkansas team, was High Point. I think they had a great run. Obviously, they had that one win, but they had some kids that could shoot, man. They had some really good talent, and it was fun to watch them play.
Johnston's unbelievable.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, my gosh, yeah. The range that he has is ridiculous. I've never seen anyone. It's like the quickest shot, and he could shoot from anywhere. It's amazing.
Well, that one in the first game that he pulled from the logo. That was unbelievable. And then he finally scored his first 2-point basket to put him up at the end of the game.
And it was the game-winning layup.
That's unbelievable.
I was watching that game. I was like, and as soon as he scored the layup, and then I had the volume up, I hear the announcer. He goes, and that was his first 2-point basket of the season. I'm like, are you for real? Because I have Wisconsin winning.
I don't think people understand how insane that is. Basket you play. That was probably their, early to 30 games on the season, mid-30, 30-something games. And it is incredible. Your first 2-point basket of the season. I mean, it just shows you how much the game's evolving. And it shows you that there's specific roles on a team where, hey, you're just running around the perimeter of the 3-point line, and you're just winging it, man. That's your job, all right? And, I mean, obviously, he had the clutchest 2-pointer of his career. Dan, you're laughing at me because you put this hat on, man. I think I look like – I don't know.
I can't take you serious. I'm so sorry.
Should mention, we did get that hat from Toscano's Men's Shop. Another great sponsor here on 321 Media for Sports Open Mic. So shout out Paulie down there at Toscano's. Yeah, my grandfather, Ken Collins, bought Ben that hat, actually.
It's actually a beautiful house.
It is. I was just it's throwing me off.
It's a beautiful hat. And Ben, thanks for letting me wear it.
Yeah, because Ben was messing with it a little bit, in Toscano's. He was surveying all the great things they have there, of course.
Yeah.
And, he had the hat on, and my grandfather was like, hey, Ben, this fits you.
Right.
So he wasn't going to buy him for himself, so my grandfather decided to buy it for him. How about you, Dan? What's been the biggest surprise to you so far this tournament?
other than like some of the big games that have happened, obviously a lot of people were high on South Florida and they lost, ended up losing to Louisville, which I mean,
Furious comeback.
yeah, no, I
Mhm.
know. The biggest surprise to me is honestly how much green I'm seeing throughout these games. I've only had a couple of games missed. The big issue that I had with the rest of my bracket was now that 2 out of my final 4 teams got the boot in the same night, that being Florida and Kansas.
Yeah.
I had Kansas in the final and I had Florida in my final 4.
Yeah.
And they both got the boot. So that was my biggest worry. I did not think Iowa was as talented as they were. I was high on Vanderbilt as well, but Nebraska they're showing out and they're going to play Iowa, which is like the most unexpected game of the season of this
I
tournament.
don't think anyone
Big
picked
Ten
that.
matchup.
Right. Yeah, I don't think anyone really picked that game. I mean,
Nobody
but I
picked
think,
that
I
game.
mean,
Nobody expected
Nebraska.
Iowa. Nebraska.
I can't believe how good they started the season off incredible. They were one of the last undefeated teams,
Mhm.
especially in that conference. And then they struggled as they had, not struggled, but, we're in the middle of the pack towards, when they started playing conference play. And they shot the ball extremely well. Vanderbilt's a good team. That point guard, was it something Tanner.
Oh, his shot at
Unbelievable
the
to
end.
watch. I had Vanderbilt on my bracket over them, and I always thought I had a chance because he was the best player on the floor. But Nebraska they shot over 50% from 3. You're not going to lose too many games like that. So
No.
it's like that was a cool game to watch. Shout out to Nebraska.
Yeah.
There's some rumors going around after that particular game. Some of the players, complaining about the inflation of the ball, saying that if
Really?
it was a little bit less inflated, that ball that Tanner shot at the end of the game, how it hit off the backboard,
Wow.
and it rattled in the rim a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of the players, I guess, over the years have complained about how inflated, the ball is at certain games. I'm sure it's not all the time, but I don't think you can blame it on that. Both teams are using the same basketball.
Right.
Not only can you not blame, you can't blame the ball. I'm looking at Tanner right now. He had 27 points in that elimination game. He was the highest scoring player by a landslide. Oh, he almost doubled Nebraska's top scorer, Sanford, who had 15.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to say that, there's a whole big controversy about the inflation of the basketball, it's just them making excuses.
Yeah.
And, you could have played harder. This is a very talented team. And the fact that they lost to Nebraska in that manner and they're complaining about it, it's just, I find that as completely, that's ridiculous.
I completely agree with what Coach Dan said. I mean, they're both playing with the same ball.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like
that too.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It goes in the hoop.
Right.
It goes in the hoop.
It fits, right? So there you go.
Now, Houston, my national champion pick, has looked good so far.
Coach LaBelle, you love Houston, and
they look good, but they got a tough opponent coming up next.
They do.
According to
Coach Santos, which I hope he
Santos,
watches this after.
Yes, and
I think their run's getting cut short in the Sweet 16, though, because he has them going to the national championship.
Yes, them beating Virginia, which we can get into Virginia a little bit.
Yeah, we will.
Big on them too.
We will.
But when I look at that matchup, I think it's going to be a closer game than people expect.
Agreed.
But Houston is a really good team. Their defense is spectacular. And I actually think their offense is better this tournament than it was last tournament. So I think with that being said, I mean, Florida's out. I definitely see them going to the Final Four in this, over the weekend.
Yeah, Florida getting knocked out, I think, was big for them reaching that Final Four. Because I know if they were to, clash with one another, that would have been a tough matchup.
Right.
For sure. Do you guys watch the end of the Florida game?
Yes.
What did you think of how they guarded the last play?
I thought it was horrible. Because it was a fast break opportunity. They beat the press, no problem. And then it drew a 2-on-1 on the right side. He drew the guy on the defense, open corner 3. Iowa was hitting all night. So I think it was just, I get they were trying to maybe stop, maybe throw them off guard by pressing, but I just didn't like the call defensively at all.
I think if you're going to press, you got to keep everything in front of you.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't understand why the defender was so far up, trying to deny. And then all they did was run him off a little screen.
Right.
That's it. And then for them to guard the inbounder so closely with that much time left, it kind of caught me off guard too.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they needed to throw a full court pass, right? You could have had that extra defender on that guy Sturtz, I believe, who ended up getting the ball and getting that guy the ball to the guy in the corner.
He beat it.
Maybe put 2 on him to keep the ball out of his hands. Even if he does get it back eventually, you're having them waste more time trying to get him the basketball.
I completely agree with you there because there was too much time on the clock where, like you said, you don't need a guy on the ball. at that moment, right? And you got to double the best ball handler. He beat the press no problem off the screen. And obviously that 2-on-1 matchup in the corner, the way Iowa was playing, it just gives them a high chance. And they obviously cashed in. So that was
the screener never helped either.
Yeah.
Like the person guarding the screen.
right. It was just
Like that player
unorganized.
could have came off the screener and tried to pick Sturts up a little bit
very
off of that, but he just had a wide open lane, and you got to give Fulgaris a huge amount of credit for knocking down that three. That wasn't an easy shot
No, that's not
because he had to make sure his feet were behind the line. He was kind of falling to his right a little bit.
Right.
It was a big time shot. And
Great shot.
what March is for,
That's
right?
it,
Yeah.
right?
Big upsets, getting your name etched in
Absolutely.
history. So shout out to the
Yeah.
Iowa Hawkeyes and their
know.
coach Ben McCollum. I learned about
Great-
him this
great
week.
coach. Me too.
A little bit more in depth. He won 4 NCAA Division II national championships.
I did not know that. Wow.
That's incredible.
4.
I did hear a little bit about him.
And then he took a few other teams to like the round of 32 and all that stuff. And now he's got Iowa in the Sweet 16. So an amazing postseason coach over there at Iowa.
people
Yeah.
are going to want to play for him now too. The brand's growing. Obviously, you beat a team in Florida.
Yeah.
And they're a well-coached team. Obviously, it's hard to beat the champions of any sport, right? They don't want to lose. And
Yep.
They want to run it back. And I think that's just a huge win for their program. And Iowa, they actually impressed me. I mean, they definitely could beat Nebraska.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they've seen each other in conference play. So yeah, that's a winnable game for them for sure.
Texas.
Yeah.
Texas.
Texas,
How about them
Texas.
from the first 4 to then beating Gonzaga in the round of 32? Who had that on their bingo card?
I think I did. Am
I know my
right?
dad had it in my.
Did you have
bracket
Texas
pool.
going to the Sweet 16?
Texas. Where the heck is Texas? No, because I had BYU beating them.
I also did as well.
I had BYU actually make the Sweet 16.
See,
so
I
after they
wasn't
lost,
shocked. I wasn't shocked that Texas
would hurt.
beat them because I think that obviously they had that one guard hurt on BYU,
Yeah.
I believe. And I mean, DeBanza and their coach said it best. You're not going to stop him.
Yeah.
Right? But you got to stop the other guys from having a great night. And I think they let him do his thing, right? And they ended up just playing great defense that game and they ended up pulling away. Then they beat a good Gonzaga team. I was like, I had Gonzaga to my Elite Eight, and I was like, what the heck? Because I'm like, I messed that thing up completely. I mean, Purdue's probably going to beat Texas, but
I don't know.
which I
that's
had.
going to be a good game. I mean, I just like Purdue's experience. I didn't like them coming into this tournament because they were so inconsistent, but I should have looked over it and been like, they're getting hot at the
Yeah.
right time. They beat Miami. I had Miami pulling the upset against Purdue, but that didn't happen. I almost did, but
Yeah, right. Where was I? Because I know I took Mizzou. Oh, that was
Oof.
a tough one too.
oh yeah.
So, but I mean, taking Purdue to win the next game, anyways.
Yeah.
It was like for me, a lot of my round of 64 like picks that lost, most of them, but I think it was only BYU, were teams that were going to get eliminated in the next round, anyways, which I think ended up happening for the majority of them. So it worked out for me. One of the games, however, that I wanted to talk about, because you had mentioned that last play with Florida, how, if it was maybe differently defended, they could have went, in Florida's
I know
way.
where you're going, I think.
Ohio State, TCU. You inbound the ball. You got 4.5 seconds left.
That was terrible.
Not only do you inbound the ball, you go backwards. That's strike one.
Yep.
Strike two, that guy does not pass the ball. He's got 4.5 seconds.
He
And
had
he's-
options too.
He had options, and he's dribbling. I'm like, what are you doing? Pass the ball. And I'm not just saying that because I had them to win. I'm like, as like a player who's played basketball all his life, I'm like, outlet.
Yeah.
Outlet. That's one of the biggest drills you do in high
The
school
ball's
practice.
going to move quicker than the people dribbling, right? So I think it was just
So
that was a disaster.
not only does he hold the ball, he gets to about half court, and when I think about like a second and a half to 2 seconds, he heaves it. I'm like, what are
Right.
you doing?
Right.
Because you had options to possibly one, you probably could have got a couple passes where you get it to a guy who's in the front court, and then you could kind of maybe make a little something inside, or you can get that shot. But this guy he just held the ball, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I didn't
So
understand.
that was one of those. That was like a frustrating one for me because it's like it was the first game, and of course, I got it wrong, and I was just so frustrated. So I'm like, that's how we're gonna start this tournament right now? Are you serious?
Statistically, over 55% of perfect brackets were done after the first game. I knew, because that was such a toss-up game. I knew half of them would be gone.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, games like that, 8 and 9 seeds, it's a coin flip, but like, it totally could have went Ohio State's way.
Right.
How about St. John's and Kansas? What a game that was. Now there was more questionable defensive decisions, I believe, at the end of that game.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with Darling, the guy who ended up hitting the layup, being able to just catch it on the run.
Yeah.
There was 4 seconds left.
Yeah, right.
Right? He catches it around like half court with a full head of steam.
Right.
And then there was no help either. And the defender who was guarding the ball never really made him like change direction at all.
Yeah.
Right? I know he was a lefty, but you knew like the way he was dribbling, like he was going hard right.
He was going hard right. Yeah.
Hard right.
That whole sequence kind of confused me at the end. Like, I get why they were fouling a lot, the Jayhawks, like, but it was just like, I don't know, man. That game was just, it was a high, popularity game where, two, juggernauts. The East region is obviously, top heavy. But I mean, I look at that game, and St. John's, I was pretty confident they were going to win that game just because I know how Patino and his defense, their fitness, they were pressing. I mean, Kansas couldn't even inbound the ball. They must have studied that on film. They literally would switch up guys inbounding the ball. They couldn't do it. So I think, St. John's, the only thing that scares me with them is their lack of offense. But if Hopkins, he had 6 threes, I think, that game. So, I don't know. It was a great game to watch. The buzzer beater was awesome. But I think Kansas was definitely, they didn't know how to handle like the intensity of St. John's, which scares me for my Duke Blue Devils in the next round. But St. John's,
Peterson struggled at points.
Yeah. And I had a feeling that was going to happen because I think he's such a great talent. The threes he was hitting, the first 2 shots, I'm like, this guy's going to score 40 points. I'm like, he's going to shut my butt up immediately.
Yeah.
But I think when you sit out a lot, right? Obviously, it was labeled injury, so we don't know, right? But he's not used to playing a full game, right? As good as you can be. And I think, St. John's is like, okay, maybe this kid mentally is not the strongest. We're not going to give him a feet of open space. We're going to deny the ball. They made him work for even when he was bringing up the ball, they just made him work for everything. And I think St. John's had that personnel. It was a good matchup for St. John's that game.
Yeah, I ended up actually figuring out why Darren Peterson sits out so much. And it's because early, I want to say in his career, he had a full body cramp. And it was a whole spasm thing. And stuff like that, it's very difficult to kind of come back from. Because like as soon as you feel any sort of kind of tension on your body, he was asked to be like, Coach, I got to sit.
Really?
Wow. So I heard that.
It was like that. Because you don't want that to happen. You obviously don't want that to happen again.
Right.
But
that's completely understandable.
He is talked about by his trainers and like coaching staff as one of the hardest workers at like to ever step foot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it sucks to see such a talented kid, have to deal with something like that. And on one hand, I was like, I'm upset because the game didn't go in my way for the bracket sake, but I'm also happy for St. John's because, I'm a Celtics fan, so I'm going to support my guy, Rick Pitino. So good for him getting this win, but I got Duke win that next game. Hopefully, me and you are going to go for
that game's going to be a great game. But that's I never knew that about that guy.
Yeah.
I just read it for the first time the other day too.
He has so much skill. If you just watch him,
it's ridiculous.
The way St. John's was playing, it would have been difficult for any superstar to score that game. And it didn't look like anyone else was really stepping up for Kansas. They had the size advantage, but it wasn't like they weren't like, polished scorers. So it was tough for them to, get anything going.
Well, I think just missing your best player for a lot of that stretch of the season hurts you when it comes down to crunch time too.
Yeah.
Right. Your best player hasn't been on the floor for you guys. Right. You're not all out there connected in those big moments. If he was able to play a little bit more, obviously due to the cramping issue, and we all understand that, but if he was a little bit more available, played in some more of those games, would have gotten more continuity together. Who knows what could have happened, right? But again, that doesn't excuse the defense that was played on that final possession.
Yeah,
and there was a guy wide open in the right corner too.
I know. When he made
wide open.
Yeah, it was on.
So no help, right? And then there was a person wide open in the corner.
Yeah.
Please tell. And there wasn't like any screening action. Really? There might have been a few off,
And
like an
wasn't this
off-ball
after
screen
a
or
time-
something.
This was after a timeout, too.
Yeah.
Right? There was a lot of fouls, and I believe they got a timeout off before the last play or whatever it was. So, I mean, they should have been organized. That was out of control. I mean, I saw him go to the right. I'm like, this kid's taking it all the way.
And again, you never know like what the coaches are telling these guys and then
Yeah,
what
right.
actually happens out on the floor.
Of course.
You know, sometimes that can be two different things.
Yeah, of course.
But still, I mean, for that to happen, I just found it like to be really, really a bad mistake.
Yeah.
For sure. You can't make that mistake in that moment. I mean, even if you got to foul the guy,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
because he had it was a tough shot, don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
yeah, of course.
But-
great finish.
Great finish.
You know,
That was his first bucket of the game.
I know, unreal. I mean, that just shows that the Patino way is that like the guy missed. He said in the press conference. I mean, the guy he was having a terrible game, and he still wanted it in his hands. Those are the guys you want because they're not scared to fail. You know, next play, they're on to the next play. So I think, yeah, I mean, college is so unique because as a coach, I feel like you can recruit who you want. And I mean, shout out for St. John's being rebuilt. I think it's awesome for college basketball.
It is.
It's good for the Big East. Obviously, we're local, so I think it's awesome. But I actually want to talk about two teams over the weekend that drove me absolutely nuts, and they need to get new coaches ASAP. Shout out to PC, by the way, getting the South Florida coach. We can dive
He's a
into
dog.
that. Great, yeah,
He's
I
a
like
dog.
that signing. First off, I'll say UNC.
He's
Davis
gone.
has got to go.
He's gone.
He's gone, right?
Yes.
I mean, I wish he stayed for the Duke sake of it, but he's got to go, man. I mean, listen, that was pathetic. I love
Well, they were
what
up
VCU
19.
I love what VCU is building, though. VCU is a good team. They kept it close to second round, too, for a little while. But, I mean, you're the Tar Heels, bro. Come on.
Looks right in the camera.
I mean, come on. I mean, he had one run. He had one run where he ended Coach K's career. They have not been a top 5 seed since. I don't think so. I mean, that's embarrassing. I'm so happy that for the UNC fans a little bit that they, can find a new coach. But another team that I'm even more mad about, and I actually watched it with a diehard Kentucky fan, is Kentucky. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch that game?
Yeah.
I actually wanted to.
Did
turn my
I?
head.
Yeah, I did.
The offense was the ugliest offense I've ever watched my whole life. It was just ISO ball. I mean, Iowa State is injured. Iowa State played their worst basketball in the first half of probably the season.
I was going to say they were
losing
up,
Jennings, right? That was a huge loss for Iowa State. But it was like 76-45 after the first 18-6 run of the game. It was the worst brand of offense I've ever watched in the history of a blue blood. That was the worst brand of offense I ever watched. I want to know what you guys think about Kentucky.
Well, I was going to say, speaking of Kentucky, I am very big on Coach Calipari's where he's at now with Arkansas and that guy, Mr. A. Cuff Jr., who
I was telling you guys, he is tough.
Yeah.
I think
I
don't think it's ridiculous if he's the number
first
one pick.
overall pick.
No.
I couldn't agree.
Depends
more.
on who gets
NBA
the
draft.
pick.
Yeah.
I think he fits the NBA perfect. I think the guard play. I mean, he just makes everyone better too.
It's a talented guard that's playing under Coach Calipari. You have to trust that because there's a lot of talented players that have come out of Kentucky, repping for Coach Calipari, and they have all been absolute stars in the NBA.
Literally all stars. It's incredible. So,
And the most notable SGA, we're like, it's
he wasn't
it's
even that
crazy
good in college. I remember watching him
Because his team was loaded.
I know that's how it goes. It's crazy. It's unbelievable.
Devin Booker, Tyrese Maxey, De'Aaron Fox,
John Wall,
Malik Monk, John Wall, Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go on.
was Rondo in that?
Rondo.
Because
Yeah.
I know he was a Wildcat.
That's
I don't know if
incredible.
he was under Calipari.
That is incredible how good the guards are there.
Even some of the bigs though.
but like,
DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis,
Bam.
Bam.
Mm-hmm.
Just ridiculous, like talent to come out of Calipari. It was ridiculous.
this
insane.
offseason is going to be awesome for college coaching hires.
It is.
Because, I mean, you never see that much job. And even Bill Self might be done too. I saw a press conference with that on his own terms, not
Yes.
fired or anything
Unfortunately,
like that.
health-related issues.
Yes, health related. Right.
We
So,
wish him nothing but the best. Of course.
great coach to the game. That was just a tough draw in the East region, right? But great coach. I mean, you have 3 openings like that. I mean, Kansas, UNC, and Kentucky in the same year. That's pretty cool. So I'm interested to see how that turns out.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Should shout out the women's tournament real quick, too.
Yes.
Because we didn't get to talk about that
We didn't.
Right.
before. UConn Did you guys watch any of their game
I
the
saw
other day
53
against
to 8 at
against
one
Syracuse?
point, right?
I
It was
haven't, no.
53 to 8. I
I'm
didn't
telling you
watch
right
it.
now, they're a wagon.
Yeah.
I mean, they were up like 40 something to 8 at one point. Like, and Syracuse is a pretty good basketball team.
Right.
Yeah, but
Like, pretty
UConn,
good
they're-
team. I know
UConn's
they're not on
always a safe
UConn's
option.
level. I understand that, but it just shows like how impressive they are. And they have 2 starters this year that
Yeah.
played on the bench last year.
Wow.
Crazy.
And they're
Actually-
starting and playing this year.
Right. I
that's
actually
crazy.
saw for the local news that the URI coach actually, I think she got
I was
offered
going to
to
talk about
Florida.
that too.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
she
incredible.
she ended up going to Florida.
I mean, that's incredible. I mean, I looked at, they obviously made the tournament. Shout out to URI,
Yeah, shout out
ladies
to URI
basketball.
women's.
But I thought it was, incredible. I mean, you bring URI, they haven't been in the tournament in a long time for girls.
Mhm.
And you get a job opportunity like that, it's tough to, turn down.
Yeah.
So I think that's shout out to the coach.
Yeah, congratulations. Good for her.
Yeah, I mean, going to watch Coach Reese's teams over the course of 4 seasons now, bringing my girls to the basketball game, at least one game every single year.
Yeah.
I mean, just watching her team, the energy that which she coaches with, you can tell all her players are always connected, are on the same page with one another. And she's just tough. I mean, Dawn Staley, she was a former teammate of as well. She talked very highly of Coach Tammy Reese. And, they say leave a place better than where you found it. That's exactly what she did there at URI.
100%.
The program wasn't in a great place. She brought it all the way up to winning an A-10 championship and, getting a first-round game in March.
Yeah.
And they just faced Alabama, who unfortunately, plays in a big conference. They got some talented girls on their team too,
Yeah.
and they played tough. But she's going to do a great job down there in
so, too.
Florida.
I think they'll be championship contention within a few years for sure.
Absolutely.
She'll finally deal with some nice weather for once.
Yeah, there you go,
I
right?
can't imagine. I am like, as someone who lives in that exact area, it's been brutal. I hate it. I can't stand
Well,
it.
now we can do this in support of Coach
yeah,
Reese.
yeah.
We were doing a lot of this
Oh, yes.
the other night.
Shout out, absolutely.
All right.
I mean, you guys want to dive into some of the
Yeah, let's dive into some of these matchups.
The future games to
future
come
games?
through.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, wherever you guys want to start, I'm ready to go. So
All right. Well, we'll save Duke and St. John's. For
Yeah,
a
we'll
little
save
bit.
We'll say that
last.
for last.
We'll go from the bottom up here. Iowa State and Tennessee.
that's gonna be a great game. Tennessee obviously ruined my bracket to eliminate Virginia.
Listen, and their first round game, Tennessee, they kind of showed the difference
they
between.
did.
You know.
SEC and the great, Cinderella. Not, Miami, Ohio was still a good team, but
Of
I think
course.
the athleticism and just if you're off, it's going to be tough.
But
to beat.
Tennessee has been a perennial program
They
over the
have.
course 4 or 5 years, and we
Right?
kind of don't talk about
We
it,
don't most underrated program the last decade. I feel like in terms of making
right? I
March
mean, Rick
Madness,
Barnes has just done an amazing job. The way his team, I was impressed with their defense.
Mhm.
They were all over Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
They were. They didn't give
They wanted to shoot like 43s in that game or something like that.
Yeah.
I think they shot like 15.
Right.
Or something like
It
that.
was
And when
like-
you face that pressure defense, I always say it's going to make those open shots a lot harder because you feel
Yeah.
rushed. And you could tell that's exactly what happened to Miami of
He's
Ohio.
like, hey.
And Gillespie, their guard,
my
was
God.
on one. that
Even
night.
against Virginia. Virginia, he's just a great guard.
Oh,
I mean, what they did that game, they didn't really give Miami, Ohio like a chance.
no, me
No.
neither. But I thought it was going to be closer.
Me too. I thought it was going to be a game. Okay, we have this Cinderella team, and we have a high-profile Tennessee who's honestly having a down year compared to their previous years. But I mean, to see what they did, I mean, they didn't even give them hope. So I mean, it was kind of cool to see. Shout out to Coach Barnes, the way that they run their program. They're back in the Sweet 16. They knocked off a good Virginia team, which they actually were favored in that game I saw. Tennessee was actually favored to beat Virginia, which threw me off, but it doesn't shock me because
No.
Tennessee's ran so well.
Yeah, and speaking of that game, I had Tennessee and Virginia in the round of 32, and I had Tennessee coming out on top. So
Wow.
this matchup here, Tennessee Iowa State, is so far like green as far as my bracket is.
Mhm.
But if it wants to continue to be green, I got Ohio State coming out on top of this one. Like you said, as talented as this team's been, as well as they've been coached, how underrated they are, Iowa State's been great.
They have.
They've had a great tournament.
That's why I picked them to go to the Final Four.
Yeah.
I mean,
love-
just the way they play defense, their
So
coach does an excellent job. And even with Jefferson, I believe his last
Yeah,
name
he's out
is
in the
going
forward.
down in the early minutes of that game. I mean, they still showed up and to win, they beat Kentucky by 19 points.
Yeah,
And they were up by a lot more.
right. Kentucky.
And for how bad, Kentucky's had played, you got to give credit to the
oh
Iowa
my
State
gosh, you got to give
Cyclones
them
too.
a
Yeah,
ton of
yeah.
credit. I mean, they didn't even let Kentucky get to the paint Iowa State had their worst shooting half of the season in that first half. They were down 18-6 at one point. But I loved what their guard said. He's like, oh, like, we're going to respond. Like, they knew they're not going to dread on their worst half of the game. And dude, they just showed that they're a top team in the country.
Well, because guess what? Where they can hang their head on? The defensive end of the floor.
I know. They're just so well coached. They're such a well coached team. And that's why I have them beating Tennessee too by probably double digits, because I think Tennessee's a great team. They're going to keep it close. But I think if Iowa State shoots the way they did that second half, which I expect them to, I think they're going to win that game.
And I had Iowa State going to the Final Four, like I said. So I have Iowa State winning that game.
Yep.
It's going to be a close one.
Absolutely.
Michigan and Alabama. Now, I'll be the first one to say this. I underestimated Michigan going into this tournament.
Me too.
I underestimated them. They look good. Lindenberg, is that his last name? Or I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but that guy is a stud. How tall is he? Like 6'9"?
Yeah.
Out there handling the ball.
Does it all.
I mean, they got a whole bunch of guys on that team, and I forgot who they were coached by. Dusty May.
Yeah. Crazy.
He took Florida Atlantic on that run before.
Right. Yeah.
So he just shows to show you what he's doing at Michigan. Who did I have in this game matched up? I had Michigan over. I'm not even going to say who I had. I'm not even going to say who I had. I had Akron in there.
Me too.
That's bad. That's bad. But Michigan and Alabama's the matchup. I'm taking Michigan.
Yeah.
Nate Oates is a great coach, though. And his Alabama's team is going to be tough. I think, losing Holloway to that unfortunate situation is going to pay dividends in a game like this, right?
Yeah.
I think if they had Holloway, I think there's a possibility they could win. Without Holloway, I think Michigan takes this one.
See, I had such a big factor of Holloway being out going into, the round of 32, and I had Texas Tech over Alabama. I had Alabama at least getting through the first round because I knew they're in like a conference. They're a very strong conference. I knew they could get through, like a little team like that, like Akron. But I mean, to get through Texas Tech, that's pretty impressive.
It is.
But I was very like kind of underestimating or very low on Alabama. So I mean, Michigan's going to pull through on this one. I mean, I'm wearing Ohio State hoodie, but I unfortunately got Michigan.
I've been very impressed with both teams. Alabama, I thought was, after that incident, I thought they were going to crumble. I mean, their offense has been, you could debate it's been the best offense so far in the tournament. I mean, the way that they're playing, they've put up great points. They're going against a championship, contender in Michigan. I think Michigan, the way they've just came out in this tournament, I think they're going to beat them pretty good. Michigan's a good team for sure.
Yeah. All right, Purdue and Texas, the next Sweet 16 matchup.
Again, another matchup where I had Purdue this far, but I didn't have Texas because I had BYU.
Me too.
I do have Purdue taking this game. Boilermakers are a great team. And they have a lot of experience in the tournament.
Yeah.
And getting semi-decently far. So I just feel like they could get through to an 11 seed Texas. I think they can do it.
I think this is where the Longhorns got to go back to football because I got the Boilermakers in this game. I think that, Smith, I mean, he's on a historic pace, just playmaking, right? I think, like you mentioned, Dan, I think the experience in this game, I underestimated Purdue despite their great conference tournament run. They're going to win this game against Texas, I think.
I'm with you guys. I know Texas has been on like this magical run, but I think it does get cut short here. Purdue is they got a lot of size. Braden Smith he's a tough player. He can not only pass the ball too, but he can go get a bucket when he wants to as well. Can shoot it from the outside. I think they're just going to be too much for the Longhorns. Arizona and Arkansas. I'm excited for this one.
I think,
this will be a fun game
I'm excited for this one.
This is going to be other than the East region, I think this is going to be the game of the Sweet 16 for sure.
Yeah, I think this one is a very big deciding factor on Acuff. If he can defeat a team that's been talked about so highly as like talking about Arizona, if they can go in and just get the job done, take them down, I think this really boosts up Acuff's draft stock.
I agree. I think, like you mentioned, I do think I think Arkansas is going to win this game. I have a weird feeling. I think they're going to be the second number one team to lose in Arizona. And Arizona's been, you could argue, the best team in the country this season. And they showed, even with Utah State, I mean, they showed that, team kept it close with them, right? And they still closed out the ball game. But I think Acuff's going to have the game of his life. I actually think Arkansas with Calipari, coach, I mean, He's gotten them far last year as well. I think they're going to keep on moving. I think when you have the best player on the floor that day, I think Arkansas has it. I think if it stays close, they'll win.
Yeah, I'm excited for that game, but I do have Arizona winning. So
I did pick Arizona too.
kind of hoping they win, but I mean,
If I did,
would be nice to see Aika ball out.
if I made another bracket, I would take the upset.
Really?
Yeah, I would definitely take it.
I think Arizona's depth is just going to be too much
They're
for
better.
them.
Arizona's better. I cannot bet against a guy that's the best in the
No, they definitely have the capability to be able
Yeah.
to do it. I mean, I just at the end of the day, what are they going to get from
Yeah.
the other guys on their team too?
Yeah.
They're gonna
Right.
need help.
Because Arizona's got Koa Pete, Jaden Bradley, Ivasic, their tall
Yeah.
center, or Kristich, I think his name is.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, they have a lot of guys on their team, and I think they're motivated, and
Yeah.
I think they're going to win this game. But it's going to be an instant classic. I
It's
think
gonna be.
it's going to come
gonna be
down to the
good.
wire, and come down to one of those last second shots where who knows, maybe it is Acuff cementing his
Yeah,
legacy
right,
in
right.
March Madness, hitting
Yeah.
a game-winning shot of some sort.
Yeah.
But I think the Wildcats have been just so good all year long. I think they get it done in this
Yeah, It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a great
Coach Santos, I hope you listen to this one.
game. I know.
Houston and Illinois.
I think this is where Coach Santos' bracket goes to dump because he
Listen,
had Virginia.
He was on one the other night when we were in
He
here.
was unbelievable.
He was
The
breaking
Calci-
chairs, taking Illinois.
I know. I mean,
Talk about the Calci bracket.
It was an
He had
unbelievable.
Virginia and Illinois. Can we just talk about this? Virginia and Illinois in his national championship game.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, shout out, the guts to come on a show and then
We love him.
yeah, we love Coach Santos, man. He's the
Shout
man.
out Coach Santos.
Hopefully he
man.
gets
That was
back on. I
hilarious.
mean, it was great with him. I do have Houston winning this game. We briefly talked about Houston earlier on the show. I'm really high on this team. I like the way Sharp's playing. I like the way they're younger than they usually are, but I think they got a good team and they're red hot. I have them winning obviously this game and going forward.
I think without Coach Santos here, this is unanimous that we have Houston.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because you guys already know I'm picking them to win a national championship.
Yeah.
Go Cougars. Iowa and Nebraska. We talked about this game a little bit.
Oh,
The
boy.
Cornhuskers, I think they punched their ticket to the Elite Eight.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think
They're
Nebraska.
better than what I thought they were.
Yeah.
I didn't get to
Very
watch them a
talented.
lot during the season, but man, they're a tough team.
Yeah. I
Fred
mean,
Hoiberg's doing a great job with
He
that
is.
squad.
He is. I mean, the way they shoot the ball. I mean, that was a great Vanderbilt team that they beat. I mean, defensively, they surprised me too. They played really good defense. But like I said, if they continue this shooting streak, I mean, you don't win 23 in the games in a row for no reason,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So they obviously are a good team. And I mean, yeah, Iowa, they've made a great run. I like what they're building, but Nebraska this season,
Yeah, I'm taking Nebraska for that one too.
for sure.
Wow, all in.
All in.
All right. Now this is going to be another
Starting to stress
exciting
me
game.
out.
The East region, both of these games are going to be box office. Let's just
These
be
will
honest.
be-
Michigan State and UConn, the fake 2 seed, as Jacob Aruda put it.
And I
before.
still think they are a fake 2 seed. I still do. I like the way they won, right? They played good basketball. They beat a good UCLA team, right? The most two dramatic coaches in the history of dramatic coaches, and Cronin and Hurley. That I prayed for that ref before the game because I was like, that guy is gonna have he's gonna be struggling. But no, it actually was a great game. Hurley's a great coach. I only make jokes. Dan Hurley.
He's amazing.
I mean, ever since he's been at UConn, he's turned the whole show around. I mean, I was gonna say 2 state championships, 2 national
Yeah.
championships. But I mean, yeah, I do have them beaten. I think Michigan State is actually better, and I love Tom Izzo. I was actually listening to some of his great messages last night as I was scrolling on Instagram.
Yep.
Just love the guy, but I think it's going to be a back and forth game. But I like UConn in this game.
Interesting. Someone you were so low
I know.
on these Huskies.
I thought he was going to take Michigan State right
Yeah,
there.
I have
I have
UConn in my
Michigan State.
bracket, but I do really think UConn's going to win this game. I mean, obviously that car on Michigan State is electric, and his offensive game's better than I thought it was. But I think UConn's going to win this game.
I mean, I took Michigan State. I'm looking at the predictor right now. It's saying that UConn is favored by it's 53.4%.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is going to be one of those games where it's going to come down to, like we were saying before, it's going to come down to that last couple of shots or those last couple of possessions. And I mean, both teams have been playing really well. So I mean, I'm going to go for Michigan in sake of my, bracket, but I mean, I like UConn. I mean, I do like the way they've been playing in this tournament. And, like we've been saying, Dan Hurley's a great coach. We've known this since he's been at URI. He's a great coach. So I don't know. I'm going to take Michigan State for the sake of my bracket, but I feel like it could go either way.
Yeah.
I think Michigan State wins this game. And you know why? Because of Jeremy Fears Jr.
He's awesome.
He's a dog.
Awesome. He is awesome.
I think the guard play for Michigan State is going to be better than the guard play for UConn.
I do agree with that.
I think Reed's tough inside, right? But UConn doesn't have like that guard that they've had in years
They don't
past.
have the
They have
Castle
Ball.
anymore. They don't got Stephon
Mullins is
Castle.
more of like an off guard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm missing somebody in there. But I think of Tristan Newton before when they went on that run, right? Some of the other guys that
Castle.
Castle. I mean, they had guards that were able to make big time plays for them, and I just don't know if they're going to make them in this type of game against this Michigan State team.
Right.
I mean, Coach Izzo's got them firing on all cylinders. Again, it's going to be a close one, but I'm taking the Spartans. I love what I see out of that mission. I think they're all together. I think Izzo's got one kind of like last run in him to make it to possibly the Final Four. Who knows?
I mean, it could go either way for sure. I mean, Karaban, I gained a lot of respect for Karaban. He's had a great tournament.
He balled out.
But UConn has struggled. I mean, they struggled first round. They struggled. And UCLA kept it close, but they showed me that they're running away with that game. I was like, I kind of like my pick with UConn there. But it's a flip a coin game, honestly.
Duke and St. John's.
I'll go last.
All right.
Go first.
Yeah, I mean, not much coming out of me with this game. Well, not really, because I have Kansas. Like, Kansas was my original pick here. I did have Duke, going this far, and they have proven to me that they are such a talented team. St. John's being my surpriser, because I thought, Kansas was going to be, with Darren Peterson, especially because he played in this game. I thought they were a lot better than they were. But St. John's has been a very impressive team, very well-coached team like we talk about. This could really go either way. And I want to say Duke because, I support Duke. I mean, I'm a big fan of Kyrie Irving, a big fan of Jason Tatum, big fan of Cooper Flagg now. Watching all these guys, it's just like, I don't know. I'm going to take Duke, though. I'm taking Duke. I'm going to go with Coach Arruda on this one. I like Duke on this one.
I know Coach Dan LaBelle. I can see the smirk. I think he's going with the Johnnies.
Listen, I did pick Duke to go to the Final Four. I did. And I'm going to stick with him. I am. I'm going to stick with him.
We're unanimous.
Because I think the Duke Blue Devils looked a lot better in their second round game.
Yeah.
And I think they're really gonna put it together. I think the time off in between games, I think nobody's better than Coach John Shire as far as coming up with a game plan. I think the Boozer twins are a little bit more comfortable, in the tournament now. More so Cam, because I think Caden's been, he's overperforming in my opinion. But I think Cam Boozer just has to be more aggressive on the offensive end for them to really reach their national championship potential. He's a great team player. I love how he passes out of double teams. Great defender too. Yeah. I mean, I was watching him the other day against TCU. Like his defense is unbelievable. But I think in order for them to really get to the Final Four, I think he's got to be more aggressive. I think it starts in this game with St. John's. I think he's going to take that matchup personal with Ejiofor, who's a tough big for St. John's as well.
Player.
And I think Duke's gonna come out on top in this one. I like the role that the Johnnies are on, but Duke's gonna get to the Elite Eight.
Boy, do I love what I'm hearing from you guys. Let me tell you something. This game, I'm gonna be biting my nails the whole game. It's going to be one of these games because let me tell you something. This St. John's team, they're lethal. And I think obviously Duke, they got Ngangba back. And believe it or not, they're not ruling out Caleb Foster. I think he's going to sit.
Really?
But he's trending towards coming. He might, if they win this game, I think he's going to come back for the Elite Eight. But they could really use him against St. John's because Caden Boozer is a great player. He's proven that he belongs in Division I. I've heard some outrageous takes that he doesn't.
Yeah, that's insane if people were saying
that.
Yeah,
people were saying he's only in there because his brother. And I'm like,
that's nuts.
He had a 3-game stretch. Even in the first round, he carried him the first round when they were struggling against Siena. And, I mean, he did struggle last game. He can't struggle in this game. With that pressure, if he doesn't handle the ball right, it's going to be a living hell for Duke because Cam Boozer can't afford to keep bringing up the ball. He does it at times because I think their guard play is a little iffy without Caleb Foster. But I have this Rick Pitino hat, right? I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to ride with the Blue Devils. I know my hair's a mess. Let me tell you something. The Blue Devils are going on, and here's why. Because I think we have the best player in the game. I think Cam Boozer, what we saw in the second half, if he plays like that, nobody's playing with the Duke Blue Devils. He was 19 points. He must have had almost double digits. He took them and matter in his own hands that game in the second half after having arguably his worst first half of the season. He took them there, man. And I think if he plays like that, I mean, he's going to dominate. I mean, he's a professional. He's going to be a professional athlete. And I think, I mean, you got to give St. John's their credit, but I think this is where their run ends. I think Duke beats them. But if he doesn't play aggressive and you rely on guys like Sarr, who did have a couple shots, I mean, Caden Boozer as well. But, I mean, if he really defers the basketball and St. John's really force a lot of turnovers and they hit their shots, this is a very winnable game for them too. So it'll be a great game.
Absolutely.
But I got Duke 100%.
Yeah. Now, so I'm going to cut out the top. So you can't say any top 2 seeds or top 3 seeds will go for this that are still left. Okay. Who's a team that's left that could surprise people and get to the Final Four? That we didn't pick necessarily, but who's a team that could surprise and get to that Final Four?
I mean, not a top 3 seed, you said?
Not a top 3
seed. I think St. John's is probably the favorite to that just because even as good as Duke has been this year, they have not played, good rhythm basketball since, they losing Caleb Foster and Ngangba. So, I mean, like I said, whatever Duke version they get, I like how they have the break. But if they win that game, I said this in our first show, whoever wins that game is going to win the championship. I actually firmly believe if St. John's wins with the momentum they have, that they're going to beat Michigan State or UConn. And, I mean, obviously they have to play a great Houston team. But, I mean, I think St. John's is favorite out of the entire seats.
I mean, there's a lot of picks you can go with.
There is.
I mean, you could take Arkansas, like we talked about earlier, Acuff and the rest of the team. If they can beat an Arizona team, that'll be talked about for years to come, especially with Acuff's legacy. I think Texas, if they pull off a win like this against a Purdue team that has, like we've talked about, this much experience, that's this talented, that's this well coached, and if they take them down, that again, it's just it's the only double-digit seed that's still in this tournament. So the fact that if they can beat Purdue,
I agree.
There'll be another one to be talked about.
They played very physical. I like Texas's brand of basketball. If they do beat Purdue, I mean, I forgot about Arkansas too. I think having the road to the final matters too a little bit. Believe it or not,
that's where I'm going.
You got to beat the best to be the best. I believe that, but I mean, you have so much tough matchups. I mean, I do look at St. John's. I mean, if you have hypothetically, if they beat Duke, you got to play 2 great teams to get to a national championship. You got to play either Michigan or UConn, Michigan State or Houston. I mean, that's a tough draw. Yeah. I mean, that's a tough draw.
I think it could come out of the Midwest because I think Alabama or Tennessee could win their games.
Yeah.
And I think especially if Tennessee wins, like if Tennessee wins that game against Iowa State, and let's say Michigan wins, I think they have the size to be able to match up with
100%.
Michigan, right? They have the good guard play in Gillespie. I know Ament struggled a little bit in the tournament so far, but I think I know he's been nursing an ankle injury as well. But I think Tennessee's the team to watch out for.
Definitely.
Could be Alabama too. I didn't think they would get this far so far either. So Nate Oates, they've been to a Final Four before as well. I know it's not the same players, obviously, but same coach there. And those I think the Midwest is going to be very interesting to see what happens in those games because any 4 of those teams could beat each other on any given day.
I think it's wide open. I feel like kind of like what you said. I think the road, and I mean, Alabama's got a great offense on any given night. They definitely couldn't beat Michigan, and I think, like you said, I think Tennessee with the experience. Iowa State isn't 100%. I don't think Jennings will play that game, and he is some size for them. So I mean, I could see Tennessee beating Iowa State for sure, but I mean, St. John's is just, they're relentless. So they're definitely my favorite. I think literally it's going to come down to Duke or St. John's to win the whole thing.
I think a fun one to look out for is the winner of Iowa-Nebraska.
Yeah, that too.
Nebraska, I mean, we've talked about how underrated they've been and how well they played. I think it'll be a fun game to watch and a fun team to watch to whoever wins.
Yeah, for sure.
To see who they match up against, we'll say the winner of Houston, Illinois. That'll be a fun game for sure. To see because that will be like a real test to either team.
It's the Coach LaBelle, Coach Santos showdown right there. 2 national championship predictions. I mean, if Illinois wins, I'm expecting our group chat is going to go crazy.
It's going to go
Coach
nuts.
Santos. I mean, he's going to sound like a genius, and he could be.
Coach Santos he's gonna sound like a friggin' a Kalshi ad. He's gonna sound like
his Kalshi went down the drain a while ago, and there's no perfect bracket with him.
Dude, what about that perfect bracket? I'm on the
one
ESPN.
left.
There's not one left.
No, I don't think.
They're out now.
The Virginia loss ended up ending on ESPN.
Okay.
But shout out to that guy. I think his name was almost Christian Leitner. I think that's what it was called. Which is an absolute legend.
He's high on his
course,
dude,
right?
so, yeah.
Of course.
I mean, he owns Coach Patino, right, with the long shot.
Yeah,
The inbounds play, the side move.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I wasn't born way before us, but
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to that guy for having that bracket. I mean, the odds of getting
unbelievable.
40-something in a row.
I mean, that guy must have been like this with a dartboard and just going,
oh, literally.
just throwing
picking
it.
High Point, Texas. I mean, all these teams.
VCU.
I mean, yeah.
Texas is a big one.
I know.
I don't think anyone had Texas going.
No, I mean, the first
far.
4 is so hard. I mean, I get from a momentum standpoint, but it's like, that is such a hard pick. Like, who wakes up and they're going to be like, Texas.
There actually was a women's team who just did that. Who?
There was an upset.
Yeah,
Was it
there was.
Virginia
They were the
over
first.
Iowa?
They were Virginia. That's who it
saw
was.
that.
They were the first women's team ever to go from the first 4 to then I believe the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
because they beat Iowa.
I actually want to talk about something that I like about the women's basketball bracket. And I know it would ruin the upsets, but I kind of like how they have home court through the region.
Dan, why is he saying this right now? Do you know why? Because I know why.
I don't.
Because they would just be playing at Cameron Indoor.
And they would be unreal. If they got the 1 seed, nobody would beat us at our house. But I think I do kind of like it because I think you wouldn't see the upsets, which just kind of ruins March a little bit. But I think it'd be cool to earn.
I don't know. You could see some upsets.
I know you could. I mean,
the regular season is different.
I like the idea.
I like it too. The regular season in Cameron Indoor. I mean, obviously they never played a postseason games there or anything. But I mean, it might be different.
It could be.
You know,
that place. I mean, the tickets would be through the roof because I think the Ryan Centers are just it's the same size pretty much as the Cameron Indoor. Believe it or not.
No, we looked this up when
It's
we went to the Celtics
it's like
game.
500 people difference.
No, it was a way bigger difference.
It was like 1,000. Look it up. It went from 500
what, that
to
Cameron Indoor is
1,000.
bigger, right?
Yeah, Cameron Indoor.
Yeah, Cameron Indoor is bigger
by a
than
little bit though. It's not like Chapel Hill where they have the massive 30,000 people.
Or like the Dome.
Yeah,
over in
right.
Syracuse.
Right, oh, that's
They just got a new head coach,
yeah,
McNamara,
I like that. I mean, he had a great game against Duke.
national champion with Syracuse before with
Yeah.
Melo.
Yeah,
He was on that team.
he was as a player, so that's cool. I mean, to go back and coach, a program that you played for, but I mean, he had me scared. I mean, man, I was at work. I took the shift because I'm like, Duke's gonna smoke him. I end up flipping my computer up, and they're down by 11, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And I actually had to watch the game, and I was stressing out because I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But I mean, 5 guys, there's only so much you could do for so long, right? So it's. Yeah, if they had 2 more guys off the bench, they would have beat us.
I said it to somebody before talking. Siena should not have been a 16 seed. I'm sorry. They should have been higher.
I remember you were talking about it on the show.
Did I say that on
they were,
here?
they were solid. They were really good.
I'm telling you, they got misseeded. They definitely did. No disrespect to the season that Miami of Ohio had. Right? They could have been one of those 16 seed. Right?
Right.
Instead of having to play a playing game
I think
to even get to that.
Yeah.
Right? And then maybe you put Siena at I'm not saying you put them at 11 or whatever.
Right.
But maybe you put Siena at a 13 seed.
Almost like
or
a
a
high
12.
Was. Yeah, right.
Or something because I just think they were better than what they were seeded at.
Dude, that was the best 16 seed I ever won. I'm not even just saying that. They were relentless. On defense, it caught me off guard.
They were very
the whole game they played.
We're gonna lose this game.
Impressive.
I'm like, we are gonna lose the first round, and I'm gonna look like a complete fool, and I'm gonna probably clock out of my work and go home and sleep because I was so mad. Just kidding.
Yeah.
But like, no,
Now
it
I
was
think
like,
that's doing a disservice to what UMBC did before
yes, that's true.
with Virginia.
That was incredible.
What
Yeah.
they did was
I mean, they didn't
unbelievable.
miss
But
it,
I mean, Siena just didn't get it done. But they were right there.
They were right. They had us the whole game. Duke only led for, a few minutes. It was
The fact that
incredible.
they made him look like that, like they made Duke the #1 seed, like that talented of a team.
Yeah.
They've been talked about all season. Cam Boozer talked about all season. ACC Player of the Year. The fact that they were able to perform and be as good as they were
Mhm.
against such a top heavy team.
Yeah. And Coach
I couldn't
Shire-
agree more with you guys. Like that is they. I think they should have gotten
Coach
seeded way
Shire
higher.
actually said that he was like one of the first, like he's really been out coached. Like he was like, and all the players even said, we thought it was going to be an easy game. Like we were like, we
See, I
went
don't
into a
like
game.
that,
I don't
though.
like that either because I'm like, especially for this St. John's game, I'm going to keep talking about it because I'm a Duke fan, but it's like, you can't have that mindset. I don't know if Coach Shire has that fire that I think he's tactically one of the best coaches. He probably, you could argue he is the best
Yeah,
tactical
definitely
coach.
could argue.
He's a genius. I mean, he played at Duke for a few years. He went to school there. I mean, he's definitely a genius. But these coaches that are in the region, they're all built off family, culture, discipline. Like, their attitude's different, I would say. So it's going to be interesting to see how that game goes. Patino is going to have the attitude standpoint ready for St. John's. So that's going to be crazy.
And while we're on the topic of Duke still, I got the numbers for the Ryan
yeah.
center capacity and Cameron center. So you're arguing, I think you said at first that URI holds more people.
I did. Well, this was off the mic. This was like 2 weeks ago. I was like, yeah, Dan, I think
Well, I'll quickly what's the word I'm thinking of?
paraphrase or rundown.
Like give a quick
Recap.
I'll preface by saying preface. That's what I
I'll
want to say.
preface. There
I'll
it is.
preface by
Here we
saying
go.
me and Jacob here were on the way to a Celtics game, and we were talking about
Great
Duke.
game, by the way. So
It was a great game. Oh my gosh, the most fun I've ever had. We
I got a
were
Celtic story after this.
let's hear it.
we were driving to TD Garden, and I forget what led up to this conversation. We ended up talking about Duke and URI, and you had talked about and said that URI holds more students than Duke.
It's not ridiculous.
And I said, "Are you ridiculous? Are you crazy? Like for Duke, like Duke, we're talking about Duke here."
Right. Go look at their gym. Small.
So I think you took the time while I was driving and you looked it up.
I did.
And I just looked it up again. URI's Ryan Center holds 8,000 people. That's the capacity, 8,000.
Right.
Duke's 9,500. 9,500.
Not much of a difference.
Not much of a difference.
You would think
I mean,
Well,
1,500
that
people
is-
though. That's I mean,
It's a lot of people.
it's a lot of
It
people.
is, but compared to like all the big brands in college basketball, like
Which
Duke
is true,
not as
which is
big
true.
as, like Syracuse and the
Yeah.
ACC. I think their arena is one of the smaller.
I think that
ones for
makes it
sure.
more special.
I
if
I
you're
think
at
it's
Duke.
Yeah.
hands down
Right?
home advantage. I think too because, I mean, the Cameron Crazies for the people are nuts in there. I mean, it's almost like a high school, obviously bigger than a high school gym, but you know what I mean. It's got that closed environment. It reminds me.
Not like it is down the road over at that Charo High School.
Let me tell you something. I actually.
It's the same kind of feel.
It's the same
You
feel
friggin'
because if the
Charo
Charo
guys.
charges basketball on a run, I underestimated it because the first game I called, I'm like, man, this is nothing compared to where we came from. But when you're winning and you go on a run, it goes crazy in there.
Different type of energy.
The environment,
We've
closed.
seen prime Westerly energy though.
Yeah, I mean,
No, for sure. For sure.
Westerly is definitely. I mean, it is awesome there. But I get what you're saying. To your point, smaller,
Of like a smaller
environment,
gym. That's
smaller
yeah.
environment. Like it does get crazy in there more than I definitely underestimate.
Because you think about it, then a lot of these teams play in, pretty big arenas or whatever,
of course.
right? And it gets loud. But like at Cameron Indoor, those students, guess where they're going to be. Courts right here. They are all right there, right along the sideline,
It's
the
beautiful.
baseline. It's beautiful.
You can't even inbound the ball. It's great.
They're
People
doing
are out here,
this.
People, yeah.
Yelling at you. Like, I just think
That's
it's
the
one of the
environment
most
you need.
unique experiences in college basketball
would
to be able
love
to
to
play
go
on
down
that
there.
floor. And I would love to get to one of those games one day.
Sure. There's
Yeah.
so much
But-
money because there's not enough
'Cause there's
seats.
not
There's so
enough-
much money.
not a
though.
lot
I
of
mean,
seats.
I know.
it's more to go to a UNC and Duke game than like an NBA playoff game. Like,
Oh,
hands down.
I looked up the prices one time because I was
Like
like,
a
all
few
right,
grand.
let me check it out. How much
At
a
Duke,
ticket
yeah.
is? I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
It's insane. It's insane how much it is. Crazy for college. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah, have you guys been following? What were you gonna say?
I remember you mentioning that you had a Celtics.
Yeah. So you guys remember
Yes.
the game where Isaiah Thomas, the Celtics were playing the Wizards, game 2 of the Eastern Conference.
That is
I believe either
Oh,
semifinals or maybe it was
I know
the
which
opening
one.
round
Yeah.
games.
It was the conference semifinals. 'Cause
Conference
whoever won
semifinals.
They had
that
some
had to
great-
play the Cavs.
Right. Yes.
They had
Prime
some
LeBron.
great battles.
Yes,
Keep-
right.
yeah.
And game 2 was right after Isaiah Thomas's late sister,
Yes.
China, passed away. I was
Yeah.
at that game.
You went to the
Really?
53-point game?
I was at that game.
That
It was nuts. I was all the way up in the nosebleeds with my brother Dylan, and the environment was insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely
that is
insane. There was
incredible.
nothing better. That was by far my favorite sports game I've ever been to.
That
I mean,
is so
these two
cool.
teams. I mean, you got to give Washington credit too.
Yeah,
John Wall
Him
balled
was a
out that night.
fun
He had like
guy.
40 something.
They had a tough team.
He's a fun guy to watch in his
Bradley
prime.
Beal, what was it, Gortat, the
Marcin
big guy?
Gortat,
they were
yeah.
just tough. They were tough in the
Tough team.
playoff. They always gave us a great series.
Bradley Beal was hooping
Yeah.
but
Oh my
Isaiah
gosh.
Thomas that night,
What a
when I
game.
tell you, I didn't think he was human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like after that game,
Yeah.
because you see him out there, and you can even tell from the nosebleeds, he was significantly shorter than
Oh, yeah.
everybody out
Yeah.
there, right? But just to see his speed, the passion that he played with,
Yeah.
makes me miss him for sure.
my
I'm happy we got a championship a few years back or whatever.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I wish we could have got a championship with
Yeah.
IT,
I
man.
have so much respect.
I wish
for
he
him.
didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
So much respect.
Because those 2 or 3 seasons that he had, I mean, were just
As
unbelievable.
good as anybody's you can name. Honestly, I
Yeah.
mean, that Celtics team was a bunch of good players, and he was the superstar. And I think he kind of brought the Celtics back when Brad Stevens left the Butler job to come coach the Celtics.
Yeah.
We were a dump. I mean, the Celtics were from when they had the Pierce Garnett. They
Yeah.
obviously made the trade, but we were terrible for those few years, and we luckily hit on the draft picks with Tatum and Brown. But I mean, before that, he was the man.
Yeah.
For a few years in Boston, it was so cool. I mean, especially in basketball with your height, it's such a disadvantage. You have
How
to
was
be
that
so
day
skilled.
game? I probably would have
Oh my
cried.
gosh.
So I was a
Oh, it
little
was
kid.
unbelievable.
I
You
was a
should have
little
seen
kid.
the place. When we were walking
I can't
out,
imagine being there.
it was just "Let's go Celtics" the entire time.
The street
yeah.
must have been nuts. I
It
mean,
was
people
it
must
was
have been
insane.
going crazy.
I've been to a couple of playoff Red Sox games as well, which those got insane and
Yeah,
stuff
of
too,
course.
and those were awesome. But there was nothing like that night,
Yeah.
man. Just the whole
That's crazy.
circumstances around it, right? And he just willed the team to victory. It's when they still had Jay Crowder,
Oh
Avery
yeah, Jay
Bradley,
Crowder,
Evan Turner.
just tough
Just
guys.
a great team.
Olynyk, Kelly
Olynyk.
Olynyk. He had that one game.
Yeah.
Was it game 7 that he had a crazy
was-
game?
I think
He
it
had
was a game
30 something.
7.
It was that series, I think.
I think it was, dude. Yeah,
It was a game
nuts.
7.
It was game 7.
It literally was game 7.
It was nuts.
It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my
That
gosh.
that team was awesome because that kind of got me into basketball. That team,
That
into the
team right
NBA.
there, that is what got me into everything when it comes to sports. It's the reason why I'm here right now, literally,
Yeah.
because I would not be pursuing what it is that I am
That's
that
cool.
if it wasn't for
That is
that
cool.
team.
Yeah.
It was just, and I like you had mentioned, like IT getting hurt and traded. Like I am probably Kyrie Irving is probably, if not arguably, one of my favorite players of all time. It's between him, honestly, and Jason Tatum. I was devastated when we traded for him. When we traded Isaiah Thomas for my favorite player of all time.
Yeah.
I was
I get it.
devastated.
That was
That's how
one of
much
the-
of an impact he had on that Celtics team and just the city of Boston.
Yeah, he had such an impact. And I mean, that trade, that was one of the trades I can remember exactly where I was.
I know
at
exactly
a
where I was,
travel
too.
baseball game, and I remember Mr. Delicato, shout out, he was like, oh, the Kyrie Irving is a Boston Celtic. And I'm like, yeah, okay, no shot.
Yeah.
And I end up checking, and I go home and I see Kyrie Irving with a Boston background. I'm like, what is going on?
It
I'm
didn't
like,
feel real.
because
No.
it was cool though, because even though Isaiah Thomas was the heart and soul, I mean, you can debate Kyrie Irving talent wise as one of the greatest offensive skill
He is.
players.
He's
ever.
he's
His
amazing.
offensive skill is
Unbelievable.
unreal. So to have that type of style come to Boston, we never had
We never had anything like that.
flashiness ever. I thought it was going to be the coolest experience. Obviously, it went down south, but I mean, yeah, that trade was definitely memorable.
I
man.
mean, in his
That was-
prime though,
Oh, I would have
Him-
accepted it. At
Kyrie.
the
No,
time,
I'm
I
saying
mean,
Kyrie, peak Kyrie on the Celtics. That doesn't get talked about enough. He played phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
That was probably
mean-
some of his best basketball that he's played,
could you imagine it panned out?
and he didn't get hurt in that one
That big
playoff.
Hayward's-
trade- I know.
Hayward. That was another injury if he didn't get hurt.
Oh my gosh, that team was
Hayward.
so annoying. I remember me and my
Think
dad
about it.
that day.
Think about it. Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward,
Al
Al
Horford.
Horford. all on the same team. That's your starting five right there.
I mean, Brown.
That's a crazy starting
I
five.
mean,
And you really have it all in that starting lineup. Too.
Oh my God,
That
you
team.
have it
That's
all.
the biggest what if. team.
You got a
I
point
think that's
guard.
yeah.
You got a stretch big.
It
who's
was all
tough.
about the timing.
You have multiple guys who can just go get a bucket. First of
Right.
all, you got Jaylen Brown, who's a good catch and shoot shooter. Gordon Hayward, who could really shoot it from the outside.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tatum can shoot a catch and shoot three. So can Kyrie. Like they could all imagine if that could have somehow
Yeah.
come to fruition. That would have been
I
unbelievable.
mean that injury. I know we're ranting about the Celtics.
That's
a lot,
okay though.
but man,
Yeah,
that injury was just like devastating. I remember how excited you could just see the way they were.
I
moving
remember
the basketball.
Remember
I'm
where
like,
I was on my couch watching the
Me
game.
too. I'm like, holy crap, this team is going to be successful just by the way they were moving the ball. I'm like, wow. And then obviously what happened to Gordon Hayward was terrible. And that just was like, oh my gosh. Like,
He's at Butler now, I think.
yeah, he
working
is.
in, yeah,
He is.
Oh, good for him.
He
Yeah,
was
I love
such a
to see
great.
it.
He was actually a very good player on the Jazz, and obviously
so
Yeah.
good.
Coach Stevens loved him.
Yeah.
Got him at Butler too. But yeah, when that happened, I was like,
Even like,
we
and I
got the
think about
quickest
like,
excitement. Now.
you look at that team right now, like even at the age of all these players, if they played on the same team right now, I feel like we could still compete for a championship. That's starting
all those
five.
guys, you think?
If Kyrie
Oh,
right
yeah,
now,
yeah,
I mean, obviously injury is not factored right here. Kyrie right now, Tatum right now, Brown right now having an MVP season. Horford right now. I mean, he's old, but he could still get the job
Hayward
done.
can still
He
hoop.
proved that with the Celtics championship team.
Yeah.
Hayward right now, I
He'd
mean,
be the fifth option. Though.
he'd be a
wouldn't have
fifth option.
he would just
Exactly.
sit in the-
He's obviously not as good as he once was with the Jazz and like the
Yeah.
Celtics before he got hurt, but like you can still hoop.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to throw a hypothetical question at you guys because I
Here.
know we're supposed to be talking about March Madness, but we kind of got on this Celtics.
Yeah.
rant.
We're getting fun
Now,
That's
I remember
just-
when
guys.
I remember when that trade happened, right? And there was a lot of speculation as far as the way the Celtics medical staff handled the
Right,
IT
yeah.
situation, right? If the Celtics, and I don't know how true this is. I don't know if IT was like really pushing to play. I don't know if the Celtics were pushing him to play and he and cleared him. He wasn't healthy or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But we knew he had the hip injury,
He did,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now if somehow he was able to get fully healthy again, the Celtics keep him, and then you get Thomas, Tatum, Brown. Do you think that looks different as opposed to Kyrie, Tatum, and Brown? Personally, I think it does.
Yeah,
I think it does.
100% does. I think Isaiah Thomas's character.
That's where I was.
He was the
going
heart
to.
of the Celtics.
It's
But
character, and they had so much momentum from the past.
they did. They were building something. But I think it would have been. Eventually, we would have had to get rid of Isaiah Thomas as we did Kyrie because IT wanted to be the guy. He was the guy for us. I think it would have been tough for him to pass that torch. You know what I mean? Just because I think he loved that role, being like, "This is my team." But I
Yeah.
think maybe who knows? Maybe he could have been like, I understand the circumstances. These guys have the very high upside, and I think it would be different though.
I think it's circumstantial though, because if you think about all the teams he's played after leaving, since leaving the Celtics, the Cavs, he wasn't the number one guy.
That's true.
Oh my God, there's a whole like grocery list of teams.
Yeah,
he's
there
played
are.
for. The Nuggets, the Hornets, the Lakers, all these teams, he's never been the number one guy.
Right.
I mean, and I think if like he started to see Tatum flashing out and show flashes that he could be who he actually came out to like end up being, I think he would have no problem passing that torch. Because I mean, like him and Brown, like Brown is like talented, but he wasn't as talented at the time when he was playing with
Of
IT.
course.
So I feel like I don't know. I just think he would have no problem passing that torch down.
It's crazy to think about, isn't
It
it?
is.
Like
Yeah.
if somehow that would have stayed together, because I mean, Boston just embraced IT and IT embraced Boston.
Yeah.
It was tough to let go. I mean,
And I think if somehow he was able to get healthy, if he was able to stay on the team, I just think it looks a little bit different. Now, did they get any like big draft picks from that trade with Kyrie? No, right?
I
They-
think
It
it
was
was
kind of
just-
like almost.
yeah.
It was a little like there was like certain little picks, but it was mostly straight up essentially.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
like it's crazy. It is nuts to think about because
Yeah, I think it was like second rounders. I got
IT he could have been. I mean, he was a great point guard. I mean, he reminded me of Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's taller, but they have a similar type of
They
like
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
very similar.
Jalen Brunson is like the modernized IT.
Yeah, very similar.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, he was a joy to watch, and it's crazy.
I
Yeah.
mean, to this
Crazy
day,
thing, though.
he still gets so much love in Boston. People still like flood the Celtics, like, oh, sign IT, even if it's for a 10-day, get him back on the team, like, get him back.
I would too after being at game 2 of that Eastern Conference semifinals.
Totally
that was unbelievable, man.
I am one of those
Carried us.
fans that wants him
Carried us,
back
man.
so bad just to be a veteran presence.
I
You know,
know.
he could be like a Udonis Haslem was for the Heat,
Yeah.
where he was literally just a coach basically, but had the
I
player
love them, man.
player
I
contract.
wish we had like one or two, like even just one other star with him against those Cavaliers.
That's
teams,
what I'm
because
saying.
LeBron, like if Jaylen Brown, even like year 4, if you know what I mean, like a year 4 Jaylen Brown, dude, that series is different, man. Like Jaylen Brown. I mean, we could dive into Jaylen Brown. I mean, I love
Which we'll
Jaylen
have
Brown.
to when we meet again.
Yeah,
but-
for sure. But
Yeah,
I mean,
even Jason Tatum, because like Isaiah Thomas, Jason Tatum never played together.
Yeah.
So imagine that.
sure.
That's a whole nother hypothetical.
for sure, crazy.
Absolutely. Well, we'll circle back to what we were actually supposed to be talking about, March Madness. You guys still good with your picks for your national champions?
Yeah.
I'm still very high on Arizona. I
Yeah.
think they could get the job done. They've proven, with the round of 64 and the round of 32, that they're a very talented team, and I think they can do it.
I can't wait because we're in the same pool for March Madness. I can't wait to see, where like the faded logo is where they lose. I can't wait to see that after this week because
Oh my God.
Arkansas is going to beat them, like I said. But I think, like I said, I'm sticking to it. I have Duke winning, but my second option will be St. John's, the way they're playing. So the winner of that game, I think, is gonna make the run. But yeah, if Cam Boozer plays the way he did that second half, they're gonna be tough to beat.
And what you were just saying, if Arkansas wins that game, I'll root for them because
Yeah.
I'm very high on A-Cup.
Yeah, I agree.
Who's going to be the player we're talking about after the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 heading into the Final Four? Because maybe that's when we'll do another show again.
Yeah, for sure. I think
I like these hypotheticals, these questions you're throwing at us. These are good. These are good.
I appreciate that.
I'm gonna add on to what Dan and Trary said. I think Acuff. I mean,
I agree.
I think if they beat Arizona, and this is coming from a Duke fan, as I mentioned 120 times, but if they win that game, he's gonna stand out. And I
Yeah.
think, I mean, it could be either him, it could be Boozer, but I just really like he's fun to watch. I mean, he's a guard, right? He has the ball in his hands all the time. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna go with Acuff.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to take him too because, I mean, I've been talking about him all night.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Jacoby Gillespie is going to be the guy.
He's
We're
the
talking
dark horse. He is. Let me
He's
tell
a
you
dark
something.
horse. I'm telling you. Now, it might not happen. Again,
Yeah.
not saying it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But if Tennessee wins that game against Iowa State, which I'm hoping that they don't for the sake of my bracket, but it could
Exactly.
easily be done. I think Gillespie's going to be the guy that's really like talked about,
Yeah.
in the media and like all that stuff, because what he's done so far has
Yeah.
simply been honestly unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I agree
with the
I
way he's been
completely
playing.
agree.
So I think they're going to need him to be able to get to the that Final Four if they do get there. And yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah.
See who we're going to be
I
talking about.
I like that because I'm looking at the regions too, and I like that Smith guy on Purdue too. I think
Stuff.
There's so many good players. It's hard to pick. I mean,
I'm going to go with someone from my national championship pick too. Watch out for Kingston Flemings.
oh yeah,
Watch out.
on Houston.
I know they got a lot of guys, so they're not going to need just like one player to like really, put the ball in the hole. But Flemings has showed flashes this year where he's just absolutely balled out. I mean, I know he's had some 30-point games. He's just a tough kid. And,
He
he's
is.
going to have the ball in his hands. He's one of their lead guards. So
Right.
see how it all plays out.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah.
For real. I think it's gonna be scary for me for sure. Hopefully Friday goes my way, Friday night. But if it doesn't, I mean, kudos to St. John's.
I know,
That's it.
right? I mean, I'll root with you, Jake.
I'm sure we'll watch it together.
We probably will.
We'll talk to Blake today, so sure we will.
Probably will. You guys got anything else before we kind of wrap up? And then we should mention maybe we'll do the Final Four show maybe
Yeah.
on like next Tuesday
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
or something like
Sign
that.
it up right here. Yeah,
Sign it up.
absolutely. Same
Contract.
time, wherever we did. I'm down for it. Hopefully, maybe Coach Santos. If he might be coaching though, but
Yeah, we'll see.
if not, yeah, let's do it. I think go Blue Devils. That's it. Cam Boozer, best player in the world.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jake. Let's go, Blue Devils.
That's it.
Roll Cougars. All right. Need them to bounce back from last year, which the
That's it.
team you lost to last year are already out now. So we should be
Got
okay.
Nothing to worry about.
That's
But
it.
all right, we want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. This was March Madness 2026, part 2. We're going to have a part 3 for the Final Four next Tuesday.
That's
That
it.
time will be released on my Instagram page, both their Instagram pages at some point, maybe over the weekend or something like that. But we really want to thank you guys for tuning in and watching. We wanted to give a huge shout out to Ben Barber
Yes.
as well, who
Absolutely.
was able to set this up for us. allowed us to be able to use the studio. Without him and the rest of the guys at 321, right? Dave, Patrick, we want to thank all of you guys because they are really giving
100%.
us this platform to be able to
Absolutely.
do
Couldn't
this.
thank them enough, man, for everything they do. For real.
Yeah. And last message. Shout out to Dan from Lathrop Insurance.
That's it.
Dan
If you-
number 3.
That's it.
your
Dan
insurance
number 3.
needs, please go to Dan from Lathrop Insurance. So for Dan and Trary, Jacob Aruda, my name's Dan LaBelle. We'll see you guys next Tuesday for part 3 of March Madness 2026. Thank you all for watching and listening.